short-term candles and price action, it is volatile. You just saw with the price of XRP moving from 0.57 to 0.56 while Bitcoin pushed the price down. You watched Bitcoin close to 60,000 and right now it stays close to 58,000. So the weekly candle close did bring some volatility. This is seen around the market, but what's positive? You're looking at the Bitcoin dominance and you can see lower highs are being formed and we currently got two lower lows as well. One more lower low here coming down to this range is going to be important. Why that range? We need to break this trend line and then it becomes bullish. Whether you're looking at the total crypto market or you're just focusing on the total altcoin market, there is some news for you in the market. We're getting some signals directly from the market. Welcome to the Scientific Investor family, where the normal retail guys get to learn how to become the next top 10% of this world. We've been going through the market trying to understand what it's showing us, and right now here we are, the short-term play. It is kind of dealing with a lot of emotions. If you do look at these candles, we can kind of understand the fact that the bullish engulfing structure plays out very well. And as soon as you get to see one of those, the price is trying to suggest the fact that you are at a reversal point. You are at a support. Right now, you're getting an inverted hammer above a support zone. That was a previous resistance, which is now being flipped into a support. We had a long wick to the downside, but then the price came back up to close there. So the volume shifted from bearish volume to bullish volume. Now, you're watching for a retest. Yeah, it is trying to push the price back up to test that particular range. But as you can see, Bitcoin slowing down kind of shake the market, and on the micro support level, you're trying to bounce off. But remember, while the market shows you all these volatility, we are trying to identify these structures. And that's kind of valid if you come back down to 2,500, break that. Yeah, you're talking about the same old support. But then you bring the total altcoin market or the total crypto market. You want to actually see which direction we're going on a macro. This is where you get to see the bullish divergence on the total altcoin market. So then the question becomes, is it just the Bitcoin making it, or is it the altcoin market doing that? Because when you go to the altcoin market, you get to see the same bullish divergence. Say you take a 3-day chart on the Bitcoin side of the equation. Now you're going into the RSI and you're watching, it's not showing you a divergence, rather it's following the trend, which is fine, which is good. You're making a higher low and you're trying to bounce off from there. That means alts did drop further than Bitcoin, but right now they're developing way more bullish signal than Bitcoin. And that's also valid if you do look at the Bitcoin dominance, because that shows more money is right now traveling in towards the altcoin segment. And if you look at the trend, we actually saw the consolidation from April till July, and then it started going higher. Now this is a daily, and you can see right now it's slowly starting to push down. Now say you can zoom in on that structure and see there is a pattern evolving. The price structure, when you do zoom in, shows you there is a resistance trend line and a support. So if you do break this to the downside, that's much positive. You'll see 56.6 being broken, and that trend line would then lean back to the actual medium-term trend line, which would take you all the way back to 54.9. But how does this change the macro equation? Because when you do take the macro chart and plot your trend lines, you're like, okay, we are very close to something. And what does that mean actually? Because when you actually argue when you're very close to something, you're going and you're trying to put all the lines correctly, accurately, and then you get to see where you are trending. You're almost at this region. You haven't touched that yet for sure, but you're getting very close. You're getting very close. The top formation should be close to 58%. And if you do zoom in, removing all these lines, you get to see a top wick up to 57.7. So we did try reaching that point, and you're getting some slowdown, some shift in the volume moving into the altcoin segment. And that's why we do look at the altcoin side. And you're like, okay, the RSI is still at 41. For the price action to go explosive, it needs to be 70. So you then go on to a daily looking for which direction you are playing out. Even now we are below 50. Above 50 is where you go bullish, not below 50. So the micro level is still playing out below 50. So what narrative does that give you now? Because you're watching the RSI and RSI is saying, I'm not going up. I'm still at the downside. But when you do look at the total structure within the RSI, you kind of get to see, okay, there was a falling wedge which broke to the upside, retested, and is now bouncing. So you're not a fan of that kind of a trend. Fine. Now you're looking at the price structure directly. And it shows you I'm trying to make a double bottom formation. And this is supported by the divergence as well. So you have multiple way of analyzing the market, and all of them kind of leads to one point where you're getting to see the divergence, where you're getting to see the trend shift on a micro move. So the breakout is going to be the valid point here, but remember this has been like 4 months of consolidation, which would actually irritate a lot of people, especially those who came and new to the market within this duration. So 4 months of consolidation, 5 months of consolidation is not simple. Because when we say it's just 5 months, but then you zoom a little bit out to see, okay, we went up with these kind of a wave structure, the total altcoin market, showing you the 3-wave structure on a macro chart. And then it shows you the corrective signal. So you now touch this point, which we would like to see back then, but then it was very volatile. Now we reached that range. So you have to now zoom out at least on a weekly and ask the question, is the market looking like it's going to go down? Or do you think the market is actually creating something which you have seen before? Not what I have seen before, what you have seen before. We all came through one structure in the market, and back then it was very hard for a lot of people to even agree the fact that this was showing you a reversal signal. This was bullish. But now at the point where you are at, that's a support level. The price is at the support. Majority does never agree on the support. And that's one of the reasons why the market is volatile. They go short the market at that support, and then the price action kicks them out. So you don't short the market at the support, rather you try to do that close to the resistance point. Now we are at a support. You buy at a support. Say you go on a monthly chart. You're watching that the price action did dip down to the moving average, and it's still holding on. Look at the volume. Now, yes, you do have another 10 days to go, but the volume kind of gives you an idea. There was a lot of selling volume. The price did come down, but from some way, bulls or buyers entered. So we now zoom in to see, okay, what's happening. So in last 2 weeks, we saw more buying activity entering the market. So if you start zooming a little bit out, you can actually see the trend. Last time when the price went up, you saw sudden increase in the price volume at the top, not at the bottom. At the bottom, it was a gradual increase. Now say you want to actually go in to the current structure, you want to look at the daily chart, watching where we are. And on a daily, when you do notice the price action, you can see there is a slight change in the total price action from this point, especially when you go into the Bitcoin side of the equation. So you're looking at a 3-day chart, you're watching a macro, and if you do look at the volume side, you can actually see this. From that April, May, it was going down, but then from June, July, it's starting to shift. Right now, you're trending back to the upside. Each time this has happened, you watched a local low formation, and then the price went further high. So Bitcoin is kind of giving you that narrative easily. And if you keep the short-term volatility away and look at the market without emotion, you're watching this. You right now have candle closes on a 3-day chart. You right now have candle close on a weekly chart. All of them giving you similar idea. Yes, exceptional volatility is there. You're watching long wicks to the upside and downside. But the shadow to the downside is very big. If you do consider the last shadow here and then at the bottom, you do see that the long wick to the downside, when combined with the volume and the follow through in volume, matters a lot. Especially when you do look at this. Say you got a ton of buying action, but they failed to push the price up. Now you got around 80% of that same volume in selling. But then you didn't go as long as that previous candle. It didn't even do that. Downside protection was very much. Yeah, you got sellers as soon as you push the price to the upside. So the market is confusing. But then you're like, okay, I want to make sense of this. I would like to zoom in and look at the market and ask the question, what can I see? And that's where you kind of get the idea on a 3-day chart. Yes, you're making the higher lows, but also at the same point, you're forming a inverted hammer. That's after the price dropped from 70,000 towards the bottom of 49, and currently it's forming at 59. So from that 49, you're already up $10,000, and you can go another 10 just to test this resistance. So the market is still heavily volatile within this trading range. If you are to buy, then you should be buying close to the support rather than buying with FOMO at the resistance. Now, for those who are looking at XRP and asking the question, should I buy this at 0.4 or should I buy this at the current price, or should I wait for a breakout? If you're a trader, either you buy at a support or you buy the breakout. So right now you're just below a resistance and you don't buy here. You're waiting for a breakout. Or the price come down, put 0.4, you buy. Now, if you're a long-term guy, the question is more based on your trend analysis. The trend, just like Bitcoin, is showing you it's forming higher lows consistently, and another higher high here gives you both the breakout and a confirmation of the trend. So what should play out here? Based on a 3-day chart and what you can see for XRP, the last candle close has been an inverted hammer. That shows you bullish movement in the market, and the volume to price action looks cool. Right now, the volume just started a bit in buying and it's able to push the price back up. So sellers are slowly moving out of this asset. Now say you go on the weekly. You're looking at the same and you're like, okay, fine. There was a lot of buying volume that was wicked, which means sellers were present. Right now, with half of the selling volume, you got more than 50% of the candle to the bullish side. So sellers are still there, but not as the first week of August. Right now, with tiny buying volume, they're able to push the price back up. Yeah, it's just the start of the week. You have 7 days to go and you will have to wait through each day to see who won. But look at this support range. It is holding for XRP. The micro pattern, if it can break to the upside, you'll watch the price testing 0.63. And any break of that level is going to give you some more upside, further room to the upside. So while you're in the market and you're looking through a lot of these assets, understand some of them, they are pushing higher. but the general market and the idea of which asset is forming the opportunity zone and where to buy, when not to buy. Be in the Scientific Investor family. Use the link in the description below to reach me for the one-on-one session. Go through your portfolio to see if you have the right asset based on your expectation. Because some people look for 10x and they are in high risk assets. Some people look for 100x and they are in the low risk asset category. That doesn't match with your expectation. So you need to balance it based on the large cap, medium cap, small cap. You need to match it with the segments, payments, gaming, AI, whichever you are interested in. But the market is also showing you the fact that money is moving there. If not, it doesn't work well. So guys, if you received value, please do smash the like button for me. I'll meet you guys on the next video. Bye for now.